This video is brought to you by HalloCasa. Our tool transforms independent local real estate agents to global real estate agents. Create your own profile for free and get contacted by international investors. Sign up with the link in the description. Hello and welcome everyone to our 181st session of HalloCasa. My name is Michael and today I'm talking to Helder Kinanga Manuel from Luanda in Angola. Helder has a lot of experience in payments and in technology and is now the co-founder and CEO of Meu Kubiku, a new real estate platform in Angola. Helder, thank you so much for your time today. Why don't you introduce yourself to our audience?
Hello, everyone. Thank you so much. My name is Helder Manuel. As Michael said, I am a business techpreneur in Angola, currently leading Meu Kubiku, which is one of the leading startup company that is involved into real estate market.
What is the differentiation of Meu Kubiku? What do you basically for a problem? What are you solving there? And what is your difference there among other platforms?
In Angola, it's very difficult for someone to rent a house, being it accommodation. People need to rely on middlemen, and those middlemen, most of the time, they put the price so high, they create inflation in the price. They show you pictures of house that doesn't exist, and people are so frustrated with this. And I have gone through this situation as well. That's why I came up with the idea of having a Meu Kubiku, which is an online platform where a house owner could list their house and people interested to buy, rent, or even get accommodation could go there, check the houses, pictures and video, and book if they need, or rent or buy if they need through the platform. The easiness of getting the house and all relevant information before purchasing or rent it is the key solution that our platform brings, and it's connect the tenant or the interested renter, people want to rent, with sales, cutting the need of having middlemen. That most of the time it's a chain of middlemen. You have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 people before reaching the owner of the house, and everyone has its cut or its cut on the price. It's really a situation very complicated in the market. That's why we came with this idea.
I understand. So what is the real estate structure in Luanda and in Angola in general? How does it work with all those middlemen? You have one agent from a seller side or a buyer side, and one agent maybe also if you rent out, and then the other element is from the renter. How is that normally thinking offline and just the process itself? How is the structure there in Angola?
Yeah, actually, it has no structure. If someone has a house, want to rent or to sell, you need to find people that are interested on that. And most of the people, they have no this channel where to find an appropriate buyer or tenant. And what they do is just to look into the corner for young guys who do this kind of business. And this guy will be responsible to get him the client. And most people also, most client on the client side, if I want to rent a house, it's very difficult to find them because there is no ads anywhere. I need to look for those guys who act as a middleman because they have a network of people. I will make my requirement and then he will find from his network, we look from his network, where is the house that I'm looking for. If I want a two-room house, it will look into his network around where I want to live or to stay. If he finds, he let me know. If not, he can give me with some other suggestion. But it's a manual process and not transparent.
So that means I have a house to sell. I don't go to a local brokerage or office of a brokerage
No.
in Luanda. Who do I reach out?
How can I say? In a neighborhood, because of lack of employment and unemployment rate is so huge, there is young people that used to do it as a business, but they don't have the offs. Like most of them, they work on the internet. They create a page on Facebook. They have a group on WhatsApp, and it will just add up everyone he knows in that group. If he knows, for example, something is being sold, like a house or car, it will post it there with intention to find and prospect and buyer. And then also people know, okay, Elder, for example, has this group and he used to post house, car, and things like that, for example. If someone is looking for house, he will remember on my group and will ask, I'm needing a house with this much details. And then if I have it already, I will show him some option that I have. If I don't have, I will look. I can look also through other guys who do in the same manner or way. Like
I understand. So basically, we can call it like a lot of independent real estate agents
exactly.
working on their own terms and making, as you say, like being like a middleman. But there's also the potential situation that there's not only one middleman, but there are like more people involved because everyone tries to make money in a way because this middleman is not being approached or contacted directly, but maybe through a friend of a friend, and every friend in an unstructured way basically wants to have a cut of that. Is that sort of the way?
Yeah, is that some other thing also? There are a public place where people gather. For example, middlemen in the city center. There is one park, for example. They will gather, sit there. People already know if I'm looking for house, I will go to that place because a lot of middlemen, broker used to sit there. But there is not much things off. There are some, but in a day-to-day movement, it's more through those middlemen. Yeah.
From an entire structure point of view, guide us through the buying process to understand what are the next steps. So let's say I'm trying to sell my house. I'm going to this place. I'm finding a middleman. I say, hey, come to my house, take some pictures. Here's the information. And first question, how much of a percentage does he normally require? Is it 5%? Is it 10%? Is it 2%? What can I expect there from the middleman?
It depends. It's always negotiable. A middleman, they usually come with 10%. If you want to sell your house, they will ask 10%. If you want to rent, he will ask you for 1 month rent. He may charge also on the tenant. And then after you say that, he will take a picture of your house and will start posting it on social media. Some will even pay for boost advertisement. And usually they have already their own page which have some kind of audience. People go there time and time to check whenever they have a property needs to check. So this is basically the process. Some also they don't rely just on you talking to them. You on your own you can do your advertisement. If they found it, they will call you and say, "Oh, sir, I can help you get clients, but you need to give me this." It depends. You can charge from either side. If you accept, okay, then it will, even if you say no, it will, when it will advertise the house, it will make sure that the prospect that want to buy the house will need to pay some fees to him as a service fees. Yeah.
And
Or it
once
may add up the price. Yeah, it may add some price. For example, you are selling 1,000, it may put it 1,020, just that 20 to be his money.
So everyone is basically free to charge whatever they want. There's no structure in this sense. And is there any structure from, and that's what you, I think, just said, property value? There's no bank involved doing an evaluation of the property value. You get what you're asking for, and if someone is buying it and paying it, you are lucky, and if not, you have to reduce the price. So it's a very free market in this sense.
Yeah, yeah. It's how can I say, especially if it's on property that you have built it, there is no such that banker will come and evaluate your property because we wanted it in Meu Kubiku and we had this much difficulty. We spoke with some brokers company, but we didn't find a proper broker investment company that would do value on those kind of things. But I think there is, but it's not structured. It's not very much regulated. It's based on the market itself.
Let's assume the client is or the potential buyer is found. What is the next step in the buying process? Are you doing a pre-contract and already set some standards? What is the next step there when we come to agreeing on the purchase?
Usually, I was explained in a traditional way. I can also explain Meu Kubiku process. Meu Kubiku came to streamline all those process of selling and buying, and it's pretty much different from the traditional way
For
of.
us, I understand. For us to understand, I think it would be great to first understand the traditional process, and then we can
Okay.
understand the value of Meu Kubiku.
Okay, a traditional process. Since, for example, a person want to sell his house and he find out a middleman then market, advertise it, and got prospect, he will take them to the properties for them to check the property. If they check and agree, they can negotiate. For example, I don't have this much money, I just can pay this. It's up to the owner if he accept or not. Since it's accepted, the purchase is done, all the documentation process is also passed. The person who is buying check first of all the documentation if everything is okay. This is also another issue because there is a lot of properties in Angola, especially on suburban area that have no proper documentation. It's a lot of process to go through. After everything is done, you pay, you get the document, you sign the selling and buy of the property, and the house become yours. But the process can be much quicker if you
Let
find the
me
house
let me
that you
just
want.
I understand. Let me just here clarify one thing. Are there any official institutions involved when you do that? Is it just between the buyer and the seller? Or do you have like institutions like fiduciary accounts included? Maybe you have a notary included. Maybe you have a lawyer included. Maybe you have a bank included. When signing, especially, is there, for example, a notary included?
Yeah, usually there is a notary and there is administration. Yeah, those are the. Now I heard that were included also the tax agency because before people were not paying. How can I say? We call it property tax. Now, if you are renting the property, you have to pay tax to the government. If you are selling or if you buy, you need to pay tax on the property. If you own the property, but this is very new, just from last year, I think. Yeah, if I'm not wrong. Before it was not like that, and not 90, only 10 or 5% of people do this correctly. Most of the people, 95% don't follow the procedure of paying taxes and so on. But
How much?
administration, of course, is there.
I have another question regarding the land registry. Is there anything like that in Angola, which basically is a directory or a general database of all buildings, of all plots in Angola, which is like in other countries you call it a land registry? Is there something like that in Angola?
Yeah, we have. Now we have two institutions. First of all, each administration or each municipality has administration. And the administration of that municipality is the responsible for selling on land to the people. If you want to buy the land, the document must be passed through the administration. We have also one institution called, in Portuguese, it is Fundo Imobiliário. It's real estate funds, yeah. So they are also responsible for registration of the house. But most of the like how can I say most of those houses registered on those institutions are government built house. There was a campaign that started in 2021 for the government to register all properties. Last year, I was looking for the number of property that are registered. I think it's only 10% or less than this of all existing property in Angola that are registered. The process is still going on of registering all the property. But most of them in the local administration, they are registered.
Now, Coming to Meu Kubiku, thank you so much for walking us through the process. And
Yeah.
it's definitely very interesting because there's a lot of potential on structuring it like differently, the entire process. And I assume that the Angolan government has a lot of plans regarding getting an inventory, making sure that everything is listed properly and having everything registered. What are you in this process facilitating and making easier regarding the real estate process?
First of all, I want to solve the problem of habitation. Most of our population are young. For example, 10 years ago, most of the people that were living with their parents, they are now married and looking for a house to live. They need to rent a house, and the process is really very difficult. So we came up with Meu Kubiku idea to streamline this process. Anyone who has house and wants to rent or sell, it could directly contact the platform and list it. The house will be photographed and filmed appropriately and listed it into the platform. The person that are looking for house to buy or to rent, they can go to the platform and look for the house in the appropriate location, in the specific location they want to do it. So after they will find a lot of options. They can filter the number of rooms, bed, whatever size, area, type of house. They can go see the image and the video that express everything. If they want to schedule a visit to see it, to check it by their own eyes, they can schedule the visit. We help pick up them and take them to the property. They see. If they want everything is all right, they pay for that. Right now, we have not yet integrated with payment method, but it's a work that is going on. He can pay either on our account, so we can guarantee that the house will be passed to him accordingly, and then we protect the interest of both the owner of the house and the person that is buying. The same process happen on the renting side. But before the house is being listed, being available for people online, we do all the requirement check if this house can be sold or not. If the documents are valid, we have our own channels and means to check it. All after every check is done, we put the house available in the platform. In 1, 2 days, a person can buy a house, even in one day if they want, being at a house, land, whatever property it's required.
So when I upload a listing on your site, basically you also do your own due diligence in the background and make sure that this is legitimate. It is, you can
Exactly.
sell it, this is the owner, and doing a lot of paperwork of all the bureaucracy basically already, and then streamlining that process. I understand. You have a very strong financial background, and therefore I'm also curious on the entire financial topic regarding house purchases. You just mentioned that you even are planning to integrate a payment processing solution directly on Meo Kubiku. But let's maybe first talk about mortgages and the landscape there. First question is, what do I have to, or is it difficult to get a mortgage? As you say, I used to live with my parents, maybe I'm with my parents, maybe I'm now in my 20s, 30s, trying to buy a house. What's the process there, and what do I have to show in order to give credibility towards the financial institutions regarding credit history so that I'm a candidate for a mortgage?
Yeah, this is also one of the problems. First of all, we don't have any concise credit score in Angola. Yeah, we don't have any concise credit score in Angola. I know that the central bank are built one, but it's not yet been used. The easiest way to do it is with your company, for example. In the past, most of the people that want to buy house was buying it through the company. The company, for example, will talk with the real estate. I need house for this number of employees. The company will buy or will sign an agreement with the property's owner. And then each month there will be some funds that will be deducted from the client each month until the house is fully paid, and it can take 30 years or more. This was more with government building house because since 2010 in Angola, the government start building massive social house and people to go to live there. It was more from the company. Now this year, just this year, the thing was changed. Now the people will need to go to the bank and ask for loan. The bank will pay their house and then we'll have to pay. But it's very difficult. I know less people that have bought a house or built a house with finance coming from bank. Yeah, it's really very difficult.
What do you suggest that if you were a politician and working for the government, what would be your idea? Because you're on the ground, you're in Angola. Do you have any suggestion there to overcome it, to make it more accessible to the average citizen to get access to, yeah, to affordable housing and maybe to buy an apartment, even though the credit history doesn't really exist on a personal level and just on a corporate entity level?
First of all, the law should be very enforced. For example, in the main project, the main habitational project in Angola were built by government. And in the law, one person could have only one house. But you have how one person that's on more than two houses and he doesn't live in any of these houses. And this is paying mortgage. He pay mortgage directly to the government, not directly to the bank. It means the government pass him house and say every month you need to pay the house. And even there is no automatic charge. You need to go to the bank and transfer the agreed amount. So it needs to be solved. Houses are for those who don't have and are looking for, especially for the government house. Private sector, of course, as long as you have your money, you can buy or build whenever, wherever house you want. But yeah, the law should be enforced, and the banks also they rely too much on public debt. I don't know what is spoken in English, but in Portuguese we call dívida pública. So the banks in Angola, instead of giving loan to people, they buy public treasure or public bonds. Yeah, public bonds. And then in 10 years they get, yeah, this is the major way bank invest their funds. I understand because there is also no much security or safety that they will get the money back because you may be employed today and tomorrow not. Yeah, it's a all of work that needs to be done. Yeah, but I will start by how can I say by enforcing the law, being it labor law, being it financial law when it's come to loan and so on. And I will prioritize always those people that have no house. Yeah.
Can you give more details on this government initiative? Or you call it, is it social housing or is it just affordable housing to make it more accessible for younger people?
Yeah, what government did, we call it centralidade. Yeah, it's a habitational project. Like it took acres of land, he built buildings, and then after finish, he organized a tender where people should to the tender, giving all information of salary, work, and so on. And then they will do something like they will cast it, if I'm not wrong. I don't know if the word is this. They will select, it will be like a lottery. Those who name go out, they will benefit from the house. They have to pay an initial amount. After that, they get the key and start living. But this process, it in how can I say in the paper it should be like that, but in practice they used to select on the finger which one will have the house and which not. Yeah, so that's why still many people couldn't go and you could find people with two or three houses in the same space.
I understand. Helga, I really appreciate the conversation with you. Thank you so much. I learned a lot. You taught us about the status quo and the situation in Angola regarding housing. You gave us a very interesting overview of the buying process in a very detailed view. I really appreciate your answers there and also your expertise. And you also described very well how Meu Kubiku is trying to solve this by doing a lot of processes in the back and doing a lot of bureaucracy work there in order to definitely facilitate the entire process. You also allowed us to get an idea of the challenges regarding the entire documentation of even the land registry or non-existent one, the inventory, the lack of transparency there, and also finally the social housing and the lottery process, which has its flaws itself, if I may say it or articulate it in a humble way. Is there anything you would like to add which we haven't spoken about and you would like to share with the audience?
I would just speak to the people, that everyone who is interested to know more about Meu Kubiku, they can easily reach out to us. We want Meu Kubiku to be the gate of foreigners that want to visit Angola. Usually you need to rent house, and most of the properties in Angola are not registered in platform like in international non-platform for accommodation. What we are currently working is to allow international payment method so that whenever people are coming to Angola, they can book, rent the property to stay or their accommodation before leaving and before coming to Angola, because there is a shortage of homes in international platform, because most of the people rely on local payment methods.
Perfect.
I was just said the five-star hotel that you can easily find. We have also some accommodation that offer all conditions that someone needs to be accommodated, but are not there available on those platforms. So
Okay.
we are open to those kind of thing as well.
Perfect. That sounds good. Helder, thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate the conversation and I'm sending the best regards to Luanda.
Thank you so much, Michelle. I appreciate and hope you have enjoyed our conversation time.
I definitely did. Thank you so much and have a good day. Bye bye.
Thank you so much. Bye bye.
This video is brought to you by HalloCasa. Our tool transforms independent local real estate agents to global real estate agents. Create your own profile for free and get contacted by international investors. Sign up with the link in the description.